Are you ready to take control of your life and join a community of like-minded women who are on a mission to live their best lives too? Healthier, happier, and wealthier? Then get ready to find the support and motivation you need to pursue your passions and goals. Get ready to develop the courage to step out of your comfort zone and try new things. Join the My Best Life Tribe membership today and unlock a world of opportunities, empowerment, and sisterhood. Our exclusive community offers courses, collaborations, workshops, events, and so much more. Don't wait any longer to start living your best life. Visit our website, www.DrStemmy.com, and become a part of something truly special. My Best Life Tribe, where women thrive together. www.DrStemmy.com.
Are you ready to bounce back?
Welcome to the Bouncing Back podcast with DrStem, where resilience meets inspiration. Join us as we explore powerful stories of overcoming adversity, share expert insights, and discover the tools you need to bounce back in life. Whether you're facing challenges or seeking motivation, you're in the right place. Let's dive in.
Hello, everyone, and good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. I am so excited to bring another great guest on the Bouncing Back podcast. And, as we started, I said, can you help me pronounce your name, Doc? So I am going to say, welcome to the show, Dr. Elizabeth Wisniewski.
You got it.
Oh, that is awesome. Welcome to the show, Doc.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.
I am so excited that you're here with us today. And before we start, let me just dig right into your background and then we'll have a conversation. Dr. Wisniewski is a PhD, embodied leadership coach, and the president of Dream Planet, a visionary tech platform designed to transform how creators connect, collaborate, and thrive. She has over 15 years of experience in the healing arts. She blends academic study and clinical expertise to guide others into embodied presence and purpose. She holds a PhD in somatic depth psychology, and she is a certified Webster perinatal chiropractor, registered somatic movement therapist with 500 hours. She's a yoga teacher and pre and perinatal educator. Her work integrates nervous system regulation, somatic intelligence, and trauma-informed tools to support transformational leadership rooted in the body. Through the lens of her 5 pillars of embodied leadership, which is embodiment, empowerment, empathy, and energy and education, Dr. Elizabeth helps people reconnect with the innate wisdom of their bodies as a source of truth, resiliency, and creative power. She practices in Ventura, California. All right. So as I was reading this, right, I was thinking I need Doc to be right here in the Orlando, Florida area, and or I be in California where she is, because for some reason, and Doctor was explaining to me, maybe she can help us understand. It's one of those days where I woke up, I'm just exhausted, I'm just tired, I'm dragging my feet, and you said Metro is in retrograde, right?
Oh, yeah.
What does that mean?
It's this astrology thing, and it kind of technology can be all haywire, and that's usually what happens because Mercury has to do with communication. It oversees the sign of Gemini. We just moved into Leo. I mean, I'm not an astrologer, but I know more than the average bear. I don't know. That's what's happening right now. But yeah, you get adjusted, and it's going to help your nervous system regulate, because chiropractic isn't about pain or back pain. It's about nervous system regulation. And your body wants to be in homeostasis or balance. So you get adjusted. If you need to sleep, your body's probably going to do that after if you need energy, that's probably what's going to happen. But whatever you need to come into balance, that'll happen after an adjustment.
Yes. Can you talk to us about how long you've been doing chiropractic as well as what, led you to be a chiropractor?
Yeah, I've been a doctor of chiropractic for 13 years now. I've been doing body work for 19 years. And what got me into it is I thought I was going to be an environmental attorney. I double majored in environmental studies and political science. And I was on my way to law school.
Yeah.
However, I had my 30th eye surgery, lost most of my vision instead of gaining more back after that surgery, which was a very traumatic event for me. But it led me into medical massage school for a year. And a couple weeks in, I said to my dad, I really am grateful you paid for undergrad, but I'm going to go in a different direction. And my dad really supported me. And so I went and I took science classes like chemistry and physics without being able to see them, doing all the mental math, and like verbally with my professors. And then became a doctor of chiropractic. So it was really something that chose me more than me choosing it.
Oh, look at that. Yeah. So you just left school and went straight into opening up your own private practice?
I did after chiropractic school. Yes, I went to school in the Bay Area, near San Francisco, and then moved down toward LA in Santa Barbara, and started my own practice right away. And I've been doing it ever since. And then because I liked school, I went back and then got a master's and a second doctorate, a PhD, and I defended my dissertation in 2022.
Yeah. So your story is very interesting because, as you know, many people will have many reasons of why they cannot do what they want to do or what chooses them. And here you are losing your eyesight, and then you come out and start your own business, for the last 13 years. Can you talk a little bit about bouncing back and, where and how you developed the courage after losing your sight to still be independent enough to do what you are doing today?
I always knew deep in my soul and my soma, like every cell of my being, that I was meant to do something that made a difference in the world. So stopping and doing nothing was never an option for me, but that doesn't mean it was easy for me. I really had to learn how to advocate because I grew up being able to see and
Yes.
read normally and everything. So it took a lot of perseverance. And what I always tell everybody is like, what you're seeing now didn't just happen overnight. This is like many years of therapy, from talk therapy to somatic therapy and EMDR, all of those different modalities, as well as different forms of body work and working with different healers and shamans from around the world. Whatever I could experience to drop more into my lived experience is what I've done to be in this place that's more, a sense of wholeness and completeness that I feel in whom I am at this moment. But it took work. So that's what I really like to educate people on, because we're on social media having that instant gratification and seeing people's highlight reels, but we don't see the behind the scenes. So this is, this interview is like my hashtag BTS, behind the scenes of, hey, it was really hard. And I still have days where I wake up and I'm like, this kind of stinks. I wish I could still see, or I could get something done so much quicker if I could see. But then I also think the world couldn't handle me if I could see, because I'd be like, I probably have like third doctorate by now. So,
I know, right?
yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So I love the way that you mentioned perseverance, and as I was listening to you, I'm writing also determination, because that's what I'm hearing here, dedication to making it no matter what, and also getting back up, from that hopelessness and helplessness. So in
Yeah.
your practice right now, I notice on your website and information link tree in there, you focus on prenatal. Is that all you're seeing, the prenatal mothers, or other?
I focus on perinatal, so peri meaning around. And so I work with people from preconception to prenatal and postpartum. And then I see so many babies. So if you follow my Instagram, you'll see me working on babies, and it's super gentle. We don't actually crack their spines. So like very gentle touch. But I was the first person within 100 miles of my area to get perinatal certified back in, I think, 2020. And that is definitely my main focus. And then even my dissertation for my PhD was on the lived experience of C-section from a cross-cultural perspective, getting really deep into obstetric violence and obstetric racism, and just what's happening within obstetrics, especially in the US.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a passion of mine. Yeah.
So if we're talking to, ladies that want to have children, or those that have just given birth, what are some of the recommendations? Because I don't think everybody takes advantage of this service that you provide. What are they to understand about the benefits and when to seek it, what the symptoms are that would result them into working with a doctor like you?
Yeah, well, having your pelvis balanced and aligned really helps lend itself to having a more easeful birth. And that can be for vaginal birth or even a belly birth, like a C-section, because when your pelvis is balanced and your baby has agency and autonomy, they're more likely to be in a more optimal position, such as head down. And so I get sent a lot of people from OBs and midwives who have a breech baby, and I don't turn the baby, I balance the pelvis and encourage them and send them meditations of connecting with their baby, encouraging their baby, if it's safe for them to do so, to turn. And I do lots of stretching with them. I give a lot of homework to my practice members. But sometimes they come in with pain, like sciatica, but it's really not about that. It's about connection and balance.
Awesome. So here's another question that I have, because I know that there will be, possibly parents or women. What about stress? Does chiropractor, having a chiropractor service help with stress, and how does it help?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're working with the central nervous system. And like we were talking about homeostasis or balance earlier, when somebody comes in that sympathetic dominant, so there's stress, fight, flight, freeze, fawn, fodder, flock, whatever their F word is. And that's why I'm always like, choose your F word or it chooses you.
Yeah.
So they come in, we can focus on the top and the bottom of the spine, which is really cool because we have, 3, 7, 9, those cranial nerves that are parasympathetic, or rest and digest nerves. Same with the sacrum, that sacred flat bone at the base of your spine. S2, 3, and 4, parasympathetic. So there's different technique systems within chiropractic that can really focus on the top and the bottom, just kind of like how craniosacral therapy focuses on these regions to bring that person more into their body and their lived experience, and to help them down regulate their nervous system. If I'm working with a dyad, such as a mom and a baby, having that baby doing tummy time or breastfeeding while I'm working on the mom, and then kind of going back and forth between the two of them so that they can attune to each other, having that coherence and co-regulation.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, doctor, for that, because I just wanted the people to understand the nature of business that you have and the work that you do, as well as understanding the benefits. So if you don't mind, I'm going to go back into you and your life. What does living a fulfilling life mean to you?
Fully embracing the rest of my senses. I still dream, like I can see, so I have that aspect, which I find really interesting, that my psyche still produces that. But then I always want really good music playing and really good scents around me, whether it's incense or essential oils and different textures. So that's really important to me, just embracing all those senses, because there's functional MRI studies show that if you lose a sense or have a diminished sense, like my eyesight, the cells migrate to another cortex of the brain. So I really like to embrace those. And I also, for me, have this hope that maybe I'll get eyesight back with advanced technology And I want my brain to be ready for that because there's really high suicide rates in people who get some eyesight back because it's very overstimulating to the brain. So I like to work, embrace all aspects of my brain through meditation and just how I move in the world through yoga, playing instruments, singing, chanting. I have a Siberian Husky, so being present with him and my partner and, whatever I'm doing.
Did you say there's a high suicide rates for those that get their eyesight back?
Yeah, I've read studies on that because it's so much input and it can be really overwhelming. And when I came across that maybe 15 years ago,
Yes.
I really told myself, like, that will not be me when I get my eyesight back because I know about the technology out there that's advancing every year. I'm going to be prepared. And
Yes.
so maybe that's why I still dream like I can see. I don't know, but
Yeah.
even when I meditate, I see images and symbols and words, and it's really powerful.
Yeah. So, how do you define success? And has that definition of success changed over time for you?
Oh gosh, that's such a hard one. So I'm Polish on both sides of my family,
Okay.
and our family moved after World War One, and so it's just a very like Eastern European like work ethic. It's
Yes.
very intense, and so I still have that. Like on Tuesday this week, I worked over 18 hours from all my businesses, and I'm like, what am I doing? And so I'm constantly having to like come back into relationship with that and what is success because on paper I have 4 degrees, a master's, a bachelor's, 2 doctorate degrees. Like that's successful for anyone, regardless of having sight or not. But I'm always pushing. So I think for me, success is more what impact and legacy am I leaving for the next generations? And am I living by my personal purpose statement to cultivate and inspire creative courage? So that's how I move in the world of like, am I getting closer or further away from my personal purpose statement? And if I'm getting closer to it and living it, that's successful for me.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you for that answer. So, now here's another interesting one. What fears hold you back, and how have you overcome them, or how are you working on those fears?
Oh my gosh, this is so deeply personal. So, a really big thing for me has been I don't know what my eyes look like anymore. And my right eye's kind of closed because it had way more trauma. And then my left eye, people are sometimes like, oh, you look like an oracle or something. And my eyes are blue, but they got like really sapphire and nebulous. And so I move through more so shame at times of what they may look like. And I'm like worried. I don't want to like scare anyone. But then I have all these cool sunglasses, but I'm like, I'm not gonna wear sunglasses when I'm adjusting something. I'm looking down.
Yeah.
So that's just, so it's scary for me to present to the world who I am in this moment also. So, but it's that both and I think that's an important place for a lot of people to live. It doesn't have to be either or. It can be both and.
Mm, I love that. I love that answer because many a time we tend to put ourselves in a box and, it's either it works or it doesn't work. But the way that you just put it, it allows people to be themselves, to
Mm-hmm.
deal with it the best way that works for them, which is awesome. So
Yeah.
here's another question, and thank you for working with me and sharing with us how you handle certain things in life, because then as part of bouncing back, I think many will enjoy listening to how you have dealt with the different phases of life. So here's another
Mm-hmm.
one, because we just talked about handling stress. What's the biggest lesson that life has taught you so far, or even lessons that life has taught you so far?
Oh man. That I can face major fears in my life and keep going forward. And one thing I haven't shared yet with you and your audience is when I was 14, my mom died from breast cancer. And so I was a freshman in high school. and I was 14, and that's such a hard age with adolescence and puberty and everything. And I'd also, that's when I lost this sight in my right eye, and had all these, I had 4 surgeries my freshman year, and my mom died after having breast cancer 3 times. And so I faced like so much when I was really young, and I'm still here, but was really hard in high school. And I was in therapy, but it was hard for me because, when you're 14, your prefrontal cortex isn't developed. I thought that if I wasn't actively grieving, then I didn't need, like, it meant like I didn't remember my mom. And it took a long time to really understand of like, I can still think of her and have a spiritual relationship with her as my ancestor now. And be okay and not cry about it every day, or not, be activated all the time. And that was really hard. That was a really big lesson for me.
Yeah. Wow. And you're right, because during that, time, adolescence, attachments, and also you're trying to find who you are, and then that role model, the person that is a person that you look up to, passes away. It's mostly, a challenging time. And
Yeah.
yeah. So in that time, what are the lessons, in life? So that sounds to me like it's one of those where you have dealt with so many difficult, challenging times that many people, might not even go through in their lifetime. And you've
Hmm.
gone through that. Would that have been something that also has strengthened you to have
Oh,
the courage and determination that you have?
yes, absolutely.
Mm,
And, I love the word courage coming from that root word of core, cur, to share your heart story. And,
yes.
and absolutely, I, I'm a Cancer sun sign, but my rising and the way I communicate in the world is Leo. Now
Yes.
we're in Leo season, and I have this like lioness long blonde hair, and I'm always like, I'm a lioness. And so I go into that energy, and that
Yeah.
kind of gets me through at times, like sometimes you have to embody that. Yeah. And so it did give me a lot of strength, and like we've talked about, perseverance, but
Yes.
it took time and it didn't happen overnight, and it was hard. And just like in healing physically in the body, same thing emotionally. You'll take some steps forward, you may pause, you may feel like you're moving backwards, but
Yeah.
in the grand scheme of it, you're moving forward, you're changing, you're evolving, your cells are changing. And so I think if we can keep that bigger picture in mind, that can be really helpful in healing.
Yes. So for somebody out there that's listening to us and saying, you know what, I don't even know what my purpose is in
Mm.
life. Do you have any suggestions for them?
I think you should really start doing something that's somatic and maybe even artistic. Somatic meaning your lived experience, your subjective experience of your body. And so journaling or drawing, even if you're not a good artist or don't think you're a good artist, just start doing that, creating those daily habits of sketching or doodling, and asking those questions, whether it's out loud or on the paper or on your tablet, whatever it is, because those answers, I think, can come through us when we're really deeply listening. And that could also be, like one of the instruments I play is this Indian instrument called harmonium, and it has a keyboard and it has bellows. And so you're pumping the bellows with one hand and playing the piano keyboard with the other. And I'll just like hold like one note, and then I'll just kind of channel like a poem or a song. It will come through me. But it's in those moments of stillness is where I find my clarity. But it doesn't need to be like you're on a meditation pillow. You could be really present washing your dishes. Um, but I think our society wants us to space out so much and numb out that we need to find times to space in and ask those deeper questions of ourselves. And also, don't be afraid if the answers don't come right away. That might be part of your lesson.
Wow. Do you have a podcast of your own, Doc?
I've played around with it in the past. Right now, I'm just a guest on a lot, but I think there's one brewing.
You've got such a soothing and beautiful voice that I think people could listen to you forever, just having
Oh,
conversations, live conversations, or even, you interviewing people. But, I just wanted to commend you on your voice because you have a very beautiful, soothing voice.
thank you. Likewise, when you read my introduction, I was like, can she record my like some sort of audio bio for me? I love it.
Thank you. Yeah, because I'm listening to your answers. I'm like, oh my God, I could just listen to her wherever just talking,
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So, what does happiness look like for you when you say this is happiness for me?
This is happiness. I think it's in those small moments. I find myself getting so excited for a certain event.
Yeah.
And then if it doesn't go exactly how I want, then I feel disappointed. So that's something I'm always working on, of just being present in the moment and removing those expectations. It doesn't mean you don't plan things, but remove some of those expectations. And that has really been helping me find more joy because I want to live in those higher vibrations of love and joy and gratitude as much as I can. So being just, removing expectations, being really present and, like the things I've already mentioned, like being with my partner, talking with him, or being present with my Siberian Husky. His name is Jaya, and it means victory in Sanskrit. He's a really cool dog. He has his own Instagram. So
Saw him when I was looking for your information.
yeah.
Beautiful dog.
Yeah.
So I know one of your passions, that you do in your life is being president of Dream Planet. Can you tell us a little bit about that, what that means, when it started, and what it entails?
Sure, we've been around for just over a year now as a company, but in the App Store and Google Play now, and so we're between the west coast of the U.S. and West Africa, and have a team in West Africa diligently working all the time. And so, what it is, it's solving the biggest problem in the entertainment industry, which is funding, and especially for independent artists. And this is artists from musicians to filmmakers to dancers, comedians, and beyond. So you can join Dream Planet as a creator or a fan or as an investor. So as an artist, putting your music out there, let's say, then you have your fans following along, and then they can invest in a project. And then once you meet your campaign goals, we actually will help you assign a manager and take you through that process. Maybe it's like recording an album. So really empowering artists. We're our own record label, so much to offer artists. And then as a fan or as an investor, you actually can get those royalties back, a percentage of them back in real money in the wallet part of the app. It's called Raba Bag. And so Raba meaning money, and pretty awesome app. So we're just getting started, and we really believe it's going to revolutionize the entertainment industry, and it's amazing. So check us out in the App Store, Google Play.
And I will also have their website where people can check out more and also see what level of, contributions or involvement they can have. So I'll have that link as well. So
Perfect.
before we end, I just wanted to ask you another question. So do you do trainings, corporate trainings, when you're talking about the 5 pillars of embodying leadership? Are you a corporate trainer? How does that work?
Yes, I'm about to roll out a new website and release an ebook with the 5 pillars. And I've been posting a lot about them on my Instagram just to get people ready for this new version. And they're all start with the letter E because most of my patients, since my last name is hard to say, just call me Dr. E. So that's why it's all about embodiment, empowerment. So I'm going to be having virtual embodied leadership and just overall embodiment coaching so that I can work with people around the world. So that's going to be launched really soon, within the next month or so.
Look at you. You're such a big dreamer, you got big dreams, you have big
Yeah.
works coming out. Yeah. No,
Yes.
excited for you. So there is a website, and I know I have all your websites, that we will be putting out with, this show, wherever people will be listening in. Any last words of inspiration, encouragement, empowerment that you would like to impart?
Absolutely. Well, first off, I'm grateful to be here with you and your audience. And second, everybody can bounce back.
Yes.
And like my story is unique to me, but I also in that greater sense and like egoic sense, like I'm not special. I'm just like all of you. And so we all have that innate ability to heal and to really be resilient and bounce back from our greatest challenges and turn them into a strength and into an asset. So I encourage you, be present with that, even when it's painful. Just stay present and breathe and trust that this answer will come to you of what your purpose is if you're searching for that. And just keep following that and your intuition because it's such an amazing part of you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Doc. I really have enjoyed, talking to you. And to all of you, listen to us again on the Bouncing Back podcast. Today we had Dr. E, as she mentioned, but the last name is Wisniewski. Thank you, Doctor. And until next time, we will see you again. Be encouraged.
That's a wrap for today's episode of the Bouncing Back podcast with DrStem. We hope you found today's episode inspiring and packed with valuable insights. Remember, no matter the challenges you face, resilience is within your reach. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your friends. Join us next time for more stories of strength and perseverance. Until then, keep bouncing back.